Hey YouTube, welcome back to the second video of the day, although if you include my intro as a separate video to my last video, it would actually be 3 videos. But yes, so here we have before you the finished 4th British Cavalry Brigade, and very chuffed I am to finish these guys at last. These are, as you can see from the very front unit, these guys predate this project. I actually had the this particular unit of light dragoons, which I think are the 11th. Let me just double check. Yes, these guys are the 11th light dragoons. And these guys are from probably a couple of Christmases ago. So they were my first. I think they were my first British unit of cavalry that I did. They could even be older than that. And I was really chuffed with them. I really liked the Perry's plastics. The only sort of cavalry that I'd had before them was I think I'd done possibly a Perry's chasseurs de cheval, along with a whole bunch of warlord chasseurs de cheval. So these guys were really my first sort of step into giving my British some cavalry. And I did really, I mean, they were very fiddly to paint. Obviously, it was more or less the first time I'd done a cavalry unit. And I mean, even when I was back in the day, when I was doing like Games Workshop stuff, I was kind of, as much as I love Warhammer, I never had the money to actually build myself a Warhammer army. So I really never really did much cavalry at all. I tended to sort of go towards 40k, and I think I had an Imperial Guard. Well, not even a proper Imperial Guard army, but I had a lot of Imperial Guard because I really liked them. And I think the only horses I'd really painted were like Rough Riders. If you remember, the old school Rough Riders were just basically Imperial Guardsmen on a horse with a lance. And I seem to remember really not enjoying painting horses. I thought they were really fiddly. And didn't really come out very well. And of course, you know, several, like 20 odd years, 25 odd years later, I'd, you know, started Napoleonics and seemed to be cranking out, well, maybe not so much at this point. I think I'd maybe done like 4 or 5 units of cavalry when I did these guys. But now, of course, in this particular project, I've pumped out a massive bunch of cavalry. I've pumped out like 4, 6, 7, 8, probably like 9 units of cavalry in sort of like probably less than 6 months. So you know, I've really kind of completely done a U-turn on cavalry. But yeah, it's quite a sort of a culture shock even from these guys going up to my the ones that I've done this time round. So let's give you some more information on this brigade then, before I give you a little bit of a closer look. So this is the commanding officer. You might remember him in a video from a while ago. This guy is, let's give you the blurb on him. This is Major General Sir John Vandeleur of the 4th British Cavalry Division. And a really nice figure to use as a cavalry commander, I think. And a nice base. Although this is pre me using my hot glue technique, and you can see that although his base is really nice, it's kind of flat, you know. Now, if you compare that to one of my French commanders, I'll pick the one with the white horse just to match horses, and this guy has got the hot glue technique of making sort of 3D terrain, and I think it looks really cool. I mean, it's obviously not bad enough to bother rebasing him, but it does make a really nice transition on a flat base. So that is the commanding officer. Now, this particular, like most British cavalry brigades, these guys have only got 1 commander and 3 squadrons, and I'll just take you through them. So we have the veteran chaps, the OG chaps. These guys are the 11th, and I'll give you the blurb on these guys. The 11th Regiment of Light Dragoons, led by a Lieutenant Colonel J.W. Slay. and of course these guys are Perry's plastics. And if we go to my second unit, which of course is the is it the 16th, I think. Yes, the 16th Regiment, or the Queen's Own, and they are led by Lieutenant Colonel J. Hay. And these guys, of course, are Perry's as well, but Perry's at rest metals. Really nice. I'll give you a little closer look at them in a second. And then, of course, finally, the 12th, or the Prince of Wales Regiment, commanded by a Honourable, the Major General, Lieutenant Colonel, the Honourable F.C. Ponsonby. And now I will just do a little zoom in. So here we have the 11th. I'll give you a little closer and look at them. These guys have got the sort of the buff, well, actually, that more ivory facings on these guys. Like I say, plastics. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the plastics. If there's one thing that I'd change on them, is that I actually got the commander around the wrong way on these guys. I generally have my commander on this this side, and I've obviously at that particular point when I was doing them hadn't decided on that, so they're kind of like around the other way. But it's not the end of the world. Then behind them we have the 16th, which are Perry's metals, and these guys are at rest, which is a really nice position to have a unit of. Again, I went for all shoulders sabred for these guys. In fact, actually thinking about it, I don't think there was much choice other than. Let's just zoom out a little bit. So here we go. Here's an example of these guys at rest. Again, really nice unit. Red facings. I think just like dragoons, just look really cool. It's. I'm so glad I decided to build up this brigade, because it also matches up with my French now. So my French and my British have got exactly the same cavalry, as in a one. The French have got a brigade of, or a division of chasseurs cheval, and a heavy cavalry brigade, or they will have, because I've actually got one unit of dragoons left to do, and that will be for the is it the 11th? The 11th Cavalry Division. And then of course my British have got the 1st Cavalry Brigade, which is of course the Household Cavalry, to match those guys. So you know, they're back to almost matching. Only main difference being that, let me think, actually thinking about it, no, the French, the Chasseurs Cheval division that I did, is actually also 3 squadrons, so it actually matches up exactly. And of course the Household Cavalry, being a little bit different to normal British cavalry regiments, or not regiments, but brigades, is actually 4 units of cavalry rather than the average of 3. So that is the end of oh, of course, the 12th, and these guys are charging, but I've just showed you those guys, so I won't bother going in close on those guys. So that is that. Now a little bit of blurb. I'm really happy to announce that I've actually at last broken my 400 subscribers mark. I think I'm at like something like 403 or something like that. Really amazed to hit that. I'm unfortunately my friend and his Blu-ray channel was actually slightly grown himself, so I think he's at 618 now. So I'm still over 100 away from him, but you know, I'm determined to someday overtake him. Big thank you to everyone who subscribed. You know, I mean, the main reason for me starting this channel was for me to just document my figures, and I never thought that I'd have any subscribers other than a few friends. So I was really, you know, it took me a long time to kind of get in the mindset of actually, you know, responding to comments and stuff like that, because I just didn't expect it to ever happen. And you know, I just kind of sit there and think, well, you know, could you know, over 400 people. I mean, fair enough, I've probably got maybe 5 or 6 friends, including like a couple of family members. But you know, practically 400 people who I don't really, you know, I've never actually met, actually take the time to sort of watch my videos. And you know, even if you do kind of just skim through them to see what they're about, you're missing out on a lot of interesting blurb, by the way. But yeah, I'm really quite chuffed, and yeah, that's probably about it. So that's the end of this video. What I'm going to be doing next, I might take a little bit of a break. I think I might possibly do some Team Yankee stuff. I've got a whole bunch of American things waiting to be airbrushed with the desert colour, and it's such a pain to get my airbrush out and do all the cleaning and all that sort of stuff. So I have to really force myself to try and get things out. And seeing I've got a nice tidy paint desk at the moment, because I actually did a tidy up the other day. What I've decided to do is all my paints that I use, you know, regularly, I've kind of put into these 2 little boxes. Let me just show you these 2 little boxes here and just over here. And they're basically the paints that I would have just normally sitting on the table that I use, you know, during mostly my Napoleonics, really. But there's a few colours mixed in there from doing some previous Team Yankee stuff. And I decided to have like a major sort of tidy up, and I just went round, you know, clearing away a lot of the clutter and stuff that kind of makes your painting desk look a little bit untidy. And it's opened up a nice area that, you know, I can actually quite easily, just this box here is actually my my bottle tops that I stick my figures to when I paint them. You know, I actually have the space that I could actually get my airbrush out and quite comfortably, because I always find that when you're airbrushing, it always takes up a lot of space. It's like you got to have you got to have extra water, you got to have the stuff to clean the airbrush out, you got to have all the paints hanging around, you got to have the flow improver and all this sort of stuff. It's a right pain in the rear. And then of course my compressor is only like quite a small compressor, so it's you know, it makes a lot of noise, and it's a real pain. But you know, I've got to do them at some point, and they're already undercoated, so I might well just take a little bit of a break. Although, to tell you the truth, I'll probably try and crack them out in one airbrush session, because I'll probably just get the base colour on them, and then I'll do the rest by hand. But yeah, what have we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 vehicles to airbrush US Desert Armour, and I'd probably try and do all of those at once. But yeah, so I might well do that next. And of course, I have actually got my last unit of French Dragoons already in hand. So at some point I'll be starting those, and that will actually end the project. And then I might do, I don't know, I don't think I'll do like a major overview, but I might just do a little sort of handheld type flyby of everything that I've done in this project. Just to sort of, you know, for me, really, you know, just to sort of look at it, look back on it, and just see what a massive effort this has been, because, you know, it has been. You know, I've really had to put my all into it, not only to actually finance it, because it's obviously practically all being metal has not been cheap, but also to actually to get to the point where I've finished it, you know. But yeah, waffling. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back pretty quickish, I'd imagine. Certainly within a couple of weeks, maybe even sooner. And yeah, I've been watching all your videos, great stuff. So yeah, if you're if you just come across this video by fluke, feel free to, if you like the content, to subscribe and leave a comment. After all, it's free. And I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye.